All right, everyone. So let's see. Dr. B is going to be with us any minute now. Let's give it a minute. Uh-huh. And Annette, glad to see you. So where's Dr. B? I just spoke with her on the phone, exchanged messages. All right, let's get, so here everyone. Okay. All right, so Dr. B, is it okay if I give a quick overview as to where we stand and what happens next? I think your microphone is muted, but I see you're nodding. So, and let's maybe,
Good
so
morning, everybody.
good morning.
Happy holiday.
So I can't believe we are pretty much done with the sort of the main part of the training program. So the reports, the team reports were due yesterday, and we've downloaded some of them and downloading the rest of them as we speak, and we'll be sending them for evaluation to the instructors and coaches literally today. Now, there are a few more things that need to happen for everyone, and then a few more specifically for the academy students. For the university students, they are almost done. They just need to do the post-project survey and tell us how the things went. And then we will offer them as an option to do a video presentation. Last semester, we tried that. And again, many, not most, but many university student teams prepared presentations and then even participated in the final live presentations. But other than that, the university students are pretty much done, and they will be receiving their certificates and recommendation letters in about 2-3 weeks once we're done with all of the report evaluations and all the other documents and paperwork that we need to do at the end of the semester. For the academy students, you still guys have to do a few other things. So you need to write a reflection paper. And so we don't expect too much from that, but we would like you to kind of look back at your experience and talk about how things went for your team, what went well, maybe what didn't go well, what you learned, what would you do differently, and what advice you would give to members of global virtual teams or managers of global virtual teams. Basically, if your friend had to participate and complete a project in an international team, what advice would you give them? From the younger ones, we expect maybe a couple of pages of text, nothing big. The older ones, please write a little bit more. But the important thing here is it's not so much for us, but it's more for you. So unless you reflect on your experience, you will not be able sort of to fully learn and crystallize that knowledge in your head. Second, we're going to organize a couple more webinars in the coming weeks where, again, we invite you all to participate and share experiences. And I'm not sure if the plan was to allocate some time for that today or if it will be subsequent webinars. But again, we'd like to hear from you, but also we want you to hear from other students and compare your experiences to their experiences. Second, the presentations. Again, we have over 1,000 teams total, of which we have several dozen teams of academy students. And obviously, if we wanted to have live presentations for the clients for each team, it will take us a few weeks of nonstop presenting, even if we allocate only 10-15 minutes per team. So instead, what we do is we ask you all academy students to present, but as the first step, as the kind of main presentation, it will be a pre-recorded presentation. So we want you to get together with your team and present your report. So talk about what the challenge was and what recommendations you make or made in a video presentation like the one we have now, and record it. And then send us the link to the video, to your recording, so that we can watch it. I will be sending the instructions in a few, probably later today, with exactly how to do it, where to send it, what to do it, but nothing special. We just record it and send the link. And then we will watch those presentations and select probably 6-7 best teams and organize a live presentation for clients, for professors. We will invite basically everyone, maybe your parents if you're still young and want to invite your parents, your professors. So there will be quite a large crowd of spectators, and you, the best teams, will be presenting to them. Last semester, in addition to the sort of expert selection of the best reports, we also had the popular vote. And so we had hundreds of people watching those presentations live and voting live. So how much they liked it. So we will do the same thing today, again, in the coming 2-3 weeks. And then, yes, with everybody else, sometime closer to Christmas, so in about 3 weeks, you will be getting your certificates, recommendation letters, performance reviews, all the paperwork that you need for your sort of portfolio and resume or job applications that hopefully will be happening sometime soon. Am I missing anything, Dr. B? And then maybe you can give more information about the final presentations and the kind of closing ceremony.
Right. So far so good. Actually, today is dedicated for our tour of Annette. It's Kenya, correct?
Yeah, and that's wonderful. I think we want to give it a little bit more time before we start sharing experiences so that the students have some time to reflect on them, prepare, know what they want to say. Plus, some teams still haven't submitted their reports because some of them managed to, like submit a wrong file, and we still need to go through that and, kind of delete
Yeah.
the old one, allow them to submit the new one. So it will be a few more days before we're kind of ready to, look back and share the experiences.
Right. Raphael is in Brazil. So first of all, I want you guys to recognize how really global we are. Excuse me. So Dr. Voss, I see that everybody's like wearing jackets. Anit, even you, Anit, where are you at right now?
India.
Is it cold in India right now?
Yeah, it has begun. Or last
Okay.
one also.
And Annette, so Anit is in India, Annette is in Kenya. And what's the temperature like right now in Kenya?
I think it's about 15, if I'm not wrong. And ideally, it's supposed to be our hot season, but I don't know what's happening with 2020.
Called climate change.
Imagine.
So, and I'm thinking, Ania, you're close to the equator, so it's like where I am, right? In Florida, although you're always having your what do they call that? Your athletic jacket on. So,
Yeah.
But what's the temperature like outside? Is it shorts weather?
Since it's night, it's 27 degrees.
I don't know what that is.
27, that's 80.
Oh, okay.
82.
So, and I could never, the rest of the world is on, Celsius, and, United States is still in Fahrenheit. So
Yeah, see, where you are, it's not fair because it's always in the high 20s, low 30s, so, or even
Yes.
closer to 40s. So
Yes.
basically
Yes.
80, 90 to 100. In
yeah,
North Carolina, it's supposed to be 22 today, so that's like 73. So it's nice. But in the
Okay.
morning, it becomes a little bit, like more like 8. So more like in the 50s.
yeah.
So,
We're actually starting the best season now, post hurricane. Of course, we never know, because I think this is the year in history that we've had more named storms ever. And I think the most recent one is the
you
one
need to explain that. You need to explain that named storm because it's not something that it's an American.
Okay, so according to the NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and NOAA
And air.
Atmospheric Agency, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency, and this is an American institution, and it's peppered all throughout the country, right, to collect data for the rest of the world, actually. But according to NOAA, hurricanes have names because they're such a force, right? And they started naming them, I think 1972-ish. Prior to that, it was just like a hurricane is coming. So Ania, it's like a typhoon in the Philippines is a hurricane here in the United States. So I think you guys just got hit by a typhoon recently, right?
Yeah, and there's more coming. There's been 3. One was a super typhoon. One I was directly affected.
Yeah, okay, so in the United States, we call them hurricanes, and then we give them categories. And categories go all the way up. I think that the measure is up to 5, and then there's also something that exceeds 5. So, and 5 is like destructive, like everything will be leveled. And the latest one that is in this hemisphere that's going across Central America right now, which I don't know if, Raphael, if you'll get the tail end of this, is now a name that is basically the alphabet of the Greeks. So once they run out of names A through Z, they start going with the alphabet of the Greeks. And I don't know what it's called right now because it's going through Central America. But
Yeah, but the point is that they start with the first hurricane of the season starts with an A,
A,
like you know, and then B, C, D. But the
yes,
last 2 years they actually used up all the alphabet, so now they have
yes,
to use a Greek alphabet.
yes, exactly. And this is the year that they have had more named storms in history since 1972. So I'm going to assume that because this is going through Central America, that you'll get some of this, Rafael, in Brazil. Yes or no? No? Okay, so it must be going in the opposite direction away from Brazil. But yeah, it's so now that the hurricane season is over for us, or supposed to be coming to an end for us. The beautiful weather of South Florida is from now and typically until about Easter time. So our temperature is like air conditioning weather. So it's about 72. Every once in a while it hits below like 50. And that's when everybody breaks out their winter boots and, you know, like we wear our jackets like a neat. And that's such a luxury for us, you know, because it's not something that happens here all the time. And air conditioning weather for us is about 72 degrees. I don't know what that is. And I do know I can convert it, but I just don't remember. And the other thing too is gardening is now. This is the time of the year where everybody puts in their flowers, everybody starts their vegetables. And actually the summertime for us is where we stop planting anything because it's too hot or we get too much rain. So just the complete opposite of everybody else, you know. I guess Dr. Voss, with you guys, you don't plant anything in the garden now, right? Everything starts to die.
No, now is the season of leaves. So we have
Yeah.
these oak trees. I have probably about 100 trees around my house. And so some of them, we are talking about like 300-400-year-old oak trees, like big,
Oh,
big,
wow.
like you need like 3 people to, you know,
Yeah.
to sort
That's
of hug it.
wonderful.
And so when the leaves start falling, you literally have like knee deep, like this much leaf like everywhere. And so it's a season when we basically clean the leaves and they keep falling. And so for a few weeks, some people hire professional services. I find that to be a good exercise. You know, I can go to the gym and, you know, jump on the treadmill, but instead, you know, I get the rake and then basically fight the
Yeah.
leaves.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a beautiful
And
time,
that's
but
great compost. It's great
um,
nutrients for the garden.
yeah, that's the naive people saying. So my parents keep telling me that no, I'm talking here. So like when I'm fully done with that, if you can imagine, so my perimeter is, so I have about an acre of land, so
Mhm.
about like 300-400 meter perimeter, and I have literally a pile of leaves taller than me. So we are talking about essentially a pile the size, not quite the size of a house, but it's the size of a small house. So, you know, to compost that stuff, you need to, so it's just too much. I suppose you can leave a few, you
You
know.
can compost. I'll have to give you some hints. You need to start smaller piles.
What I mean is that if I wanted to compost it, I would need another acre of land just to, you know, to store it and to, it's
Yeah.
not the case where you put it in a
Yeah.
bucket. I mean, I can leave a few buckets, you know, just keep for composting,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's a lot of leaves. It's a lot of
yeah,
leaves.
yeah, yeah. Well, I like hoard all of my leaves because I do compost and I put them, you know, like in little piles and then I feed them. So I even go out there and give it vegetables and stuff like that because it draws the worms and the bugs and it makes good soil. So anyway, let's go back to X Culture. So again, today we're going to be hosting, I'm thinking it's Hope that's going to be our tour guide, right, Annette? Yes. But I asked Raphael to give you guys basically an update of the week-to-week play-by-play up until December 19th. And we are confirmed, everybody, that December 19th is the date of our end of semester celebration. So for those of you guys who are, so stand by for that because we are planning something nice for everyone. But that's going to be our very last day. But I'm going to ask Raphael to come on. Raphael, you guys know, is from Brazil. He is our lead senior coach, and he's the one who keeps me on schedule. So here we go, Raphael.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. As Dr. B said, I'm Rafael from Brazil, and I'll be talking about our schedule for the next couple weeks. So, for this weekend, you guys will be doing the post-project survey. So make sure to do it by the end of tomorrow. And for the next week, you guys are going to start to record a video presentation regarding your projects, and all the coaches will be helping you to do that. Uh, you you will need to send us the link, YouTube link, uh, by the end of 29. So it's Sunday. So make sure to send the link to our email. You can send to academic. I don't know
That's
how to say.
November, right? Not December, November 29, right?
Yes, November.
Yes, yeah. Next Sunday.
Yeah.
So, and it's
Yes.
academy@xculture.org.
Yes.
Academy dot or at
One
xculture.org.
question though, I'm fine if you want to deal with the emails. Last semester, we had a form where people just pasted in a form. So this way we have a nice Excel file with everything, because if you allow emails to be perfectly fine, but you'll end up with some teams submitting the email 5 times, other emails not going through, and they will be asking you, and then not to mention that you have to copy and paste them one by one. If you're asking that only of the academy, it's not that many teams, it's okay. But for the rest of the teams, I'm probably going to set up a form just like the one we used last semester, because once you get a few hundred of those, emails are just very inefficient to work with.
Mhm.
So let me know how you want to do it, but it may be more efficient just to use a a separate form.
We'd
Okay.
like the form, please. We'd like the form, please. So I guess that's something that we can talk about off topic or off site. And then we will disseminate the information through our coaches, and then your coaches will contact you. Okay. This is for Academy, virtual, which is the university students is, Dr. Vasa's baby, but Academy is my baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then the week following, Raphael,
Yeah.
which is okay, go ahead.
We will have 1 week to review and select the best 6 or 7 presentations, and then on our date to present to companies will be on December 12th, and we will have 2 hours meeting with all the companies to present then all the presentations.
That is, you guys, Academy students and virtual university students will be doing this jointly, correct, Dr. Voss? Okay.
Yeah, we will have a mix, and so yeah.
So this is everybody on X Culture, okay? And then of course, our end of semester event for Academy is December 19th. Again, you will get your invitations, Academy, on a separate note, and it will also be reinforced by your coaches.
So just to make a summary of what I said, so for this week, we'll be having the week to record the video. Next one, we will be reviewing the recordings, and also we will have a post-reflection meeting. So the students might to talk with us regarding the whole project, what they felt about. And the other week, we will have the presentation to companies, and the other one we will finish doing the holiday event.
So you guys, on next weekend, which is this is Saturday, Raphael, our post reflection meeting is at this time next week, correct?
Yes.
So for those of you guys who are watching this video and not currently on with us, we would really love to hear your opinions and would love for you to join us. It's going to be a chat. We're going to invite as many of our leaders as we can. We'll put you in breakout rooms, and then we'll do circulation so that we can have, conversations at spontaneous conversations conversations as to, you know, how your experience was, what we can do to improve, what you liked, what you didn't like, how can we continue to grow our business model. Okay, so that will be next Saturday at this time.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess without further ado, now we're down to 40 minutes, Hope, sorry. We are gonna pass the screen over to Annette, who is going to work with Hope. And who's your partner, Annette?
Anit.
Anit and Annette, who are going to take us through Kenya. So we're super excited. Again, Dr. Vas and I are gonna be in the background, but take it away, you guys are in charge. Thank you.
Hi guys, we're happy to have you today. Our host today is Hope Mwangi from Kenya. She's a 15-year-old high school student, and she has a lot to show us. I will need to request you that if you have any questions, please keep bringing them, keep posting them in the Q&A. We will keep answering them as the session goes by, or if there's anything we cannot answer, Hope will answer them after her presentation. So I will take this opportunity to invite Hope to come and talk to us. Welcome, Hope.
Hi guys, my name is Hope. I'm from Kenya. I love TikTok and I love watching anime. I love watching wrestling, and today I'm going to take you to a virtual tour in Kenya. So stay put.
Dr. Vas, can you kindly make Hope
Yes.
co-host?
And Annette, I probably should make you a host too, just in case. Yeah,
All right.
sorry. Yeah, so I'm making Annette, just sorry, co-host, and then Hope, same thing. Yeah, all right, should be working now.
Yeah, so Hope now you can be able to share your screen. Thank you very much, Dr. Vas.
Mhm.
Thank you. Could you see my screen?
Yes.
It is starting.
Okay. So we're going to look at Kenya's overview. Kenya is found in Africa, at the southwest. Yeah, the southwest. The size of Kenya is 580,367 kilometers squared. Our population since the last census, which was last year, is 47.5 million. Sorry, excuse me. Our governance is at the two levels, which is the national government and the county government. The national government is led by the president and the county government is led by the governors. Our Kenyan currency is Kenyan shillings and our capital city is Nairobi. Here we can see our Kenyan flag, which has 4 colors, which is black, white, red, and green.
Excuse me, Hope. Are you able to put this in presentation view? You put it in, you can press F5.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, I think it looks okay.
Okay, so as you can see, we have our Kenyan flag. It has 4 colors, which is black, white, red, and green. Each color has its own meaning. Black, which represents us, the people. We have white, which represents the peace. Red, which represents the blood shed for our freedom. And green, which represents the agriculture of our country. Our main tourist attractions in Kenya are the beaches. Example is Malindi. As you can see, a picture of the Malindi beach. As you can see, this is the Indian Ocean, which is also found in Kenya. We also have the national parks. An example is Amboseli. In Amboseli, you'll find Mount Kilimanjaro, and you find a lot of animals. An example, as you can see over here, is a picture of of elephants. Behind them is the Mount Kilimanjaro. It's a very good place to go. We also have lakes. Example is Lake Nakuru. This is, it's known for having flamingos, as you can see. We also have the mountains. An example is Mount Kenya. It's the highest mountain in Kenya and the second highest in Africa. We also have the historical sites. Among them is the Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama Pillar. It was built in the 1498 by Vasco da Gama to give direction to those following the sea route in India. Vasco da Gama came from Portugal who was sent by the king to come and find the sea route to India. We also have the economic activities. Example, our main economic activities is tea. It's a major agriculture export in Kenya, and it is ranked second after China. You can see the people plucking some tea leaves. Among them, we have the tea leaves are also grown in the Rift Valley and Kericho places at high altitudes. Economic activity, we also have coffee in Kenya. It is the major producer of Arabic coffee. It's mainly consumed locally and also consumed internationally. It's known around the world. It's second after Ethiopia. We also have horticulture. It's most produce consumed locally, while only 40% is exported. We have a variety of flowers. We have roses, lilies, and etc. Next, we're going to go to our capital city, which is Nairobi. Among Nairobi, you can see at night the lights of our city. It's known very well. Most of the people live in the urban in Nairobi. The rest live in the rural. We also have another picture over here. This is the main place. It's called Nairobi town. It's where a lot of people go for shopping, where they earn good jobs and go to great universities and schools. Next, we're going to talk about our national park, which is known as the Nairobi National Park. The Nairobi National Park is the only park in a capital city in the whole world, Nairobi. The meaning of Nairobi came across the Maasai phrase Enkare, which translates to cool water, a reference to the Nairobi River, which flows through the city. An example, as you can see here, there's a lion facing the city. You can see the tall buildings over there. We've not had any cases of them escaping the parks, but we're grateful for that also. And the lions are the most known at the Nairobi National Park. There are a lot of them. We also have the rhinos. Among these rhinos in Kenya is one of the most exotic rhino known as the white rhino. It's not found in Nairobi National Park. It's found in another place known as, it's another place in Naivasha. As you can see, the tourists visiting the Nairobi National Park, taking photos of some animals. And here, as you can see, some giraffes in the city. And we have some gazelles too. And here's another picture of the tourists taking a picture of some lions. As we travel now to the Masai Mara, the greatest wildebeest migration is one of the 7 new wonders of the world. They move majorly in search of green pastures. The Masai Mara National Reserve is also home to the annual wildebeest migration. The Great Migration takes place every year from July to October, when over 2 million of wildebeest and zebra migrate from Tanzania Serengeti Plains to the reserve and back again in search of pasture and water. The reserve is also one of the best places to take a hot air balloon safari. As you can see in our Kenyan map, here is the Masai Mara bordering Tanzania, where the Wabis come from the Serengeti Plains. Here is the Mara River from where the Wabis come from the Serengeti and cross the Mara River to come to the Masai Mara National Reserve, which is in Kenya. We also have some hot air balloons in Kenya for the safari. As you can see, in the hot air balloons, you have some tourists in it looking at some wild beasts. We also have some who are looking at some elephants. Here's some cheetahs with their cubs, and the lions, and some zebras and giraffes. The Masai Mara is from a community known as the Maasai, which is in Kenya. It's the first to be originated in Kenya. They mainly move they're pastoralists who mainly move for pasture and water for their livestock. Here, as you can see, the tourists interacting with the Maasai community and enjoying themselves to their traditional dances. Now we're going to go to the tented camp, which is found in Masai Mara. Sir Richard Branson of the Virgin Airlines has invested a camp in the Masai Mara known as the Mahari Mazuri Safari Park, which is also known as the Mahari means dowry and Mazuri means good park. Here's a picture of Richard Branson with our president next to him. This is our president known as Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And as you can see, we also have another picture of Richard Branson with the Maasai elders. Here is a picture of the Mahari Mazuri camp.
So what is the Mahari Mazuri camp? What is it? Is it like a resort, or like how is it used?
It's a camp where you can go and look. You can have the first seats, or where you can see the wild beast migration at the first seat places.
Actually, Dr. Vas, yeah, it's like a resort. They have accommodation and everything. So like when you go to the Masai Mara National Park, you can actually reside there as you enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, as you're having a good time.
Okay.
Is it a permanent structure, or is it actually a tent?
It's a tented camp, but that is made permanent.
Okay, so but I mean the roofing, is that like a fabric or is that like a metal?
It's a metal. That's a metal.
Okay, so it looks like it's a temporary residence, but everything else about it looks permanent. So,
yeah,
right, Hope?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. You can also enjoy an evening at the Mahari Mazuri as you watch the sunset while eating dinner. That comes to an end.
Okay, so Hope, I already know that Dr. Vas is going to be talking to me afterwards about taking X Culture to Kenya.
Well, yeah, it would be a nice destination, wouldn't it be?
Yeah. So, and you know, we do have the American University of Kenya who has been working with us to go. So that's one of my questions actually, is how far is the American University of Kenya from? Is it in Nairobi? Do you know?
Yeah, it is. It is in Nairobi. Sorry, I won't steal your moment, Hope. Please answer that.
Wait, Annette, you went to that university, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and that's how you found us in X Culture.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead, Hope.
Pardon?
Yeah, so tell us about do you know where the American University of Kenya is relative to everything?
No.
No. Okay.
I actually don't know.
Okay, let me see what the distance. It is 5 hours And 43 means that is 726 kilometers from
Oh.
USIU to the Masai Mara.
Okay, but the American University of Kenya
That is
is in Nairobi, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, what a beautiful country.
I know. You
People
guys
don't
need to
realize
come.
how big it is. I mean, like 700 kilometers, that's like 400 miles. That is a distance. That is a serious distance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a long way, boss.
Yeah.
Question. So I don't know if Hope you know the answer to this, but has there ever been any incidents of the lions and any of the wild animals going into the city in Nairobi?
Yes.
There was one.
Hope you're too young to answer this. There have been instances where people actually warned about the lions attacking, not really attacking them, because Kenya Wildlife Service is always on a lookout for these animals. But there are cases where you actually, as people are going to work, they see animals in the road and they're wondering, okay, so do we stop? Do we continue going to work? Do we, like, it's sometimes it's really funny.
Oh no! But do they?
Seriously.
So the preserve, it's an open preserve, correct?
I wait, no, it has a fence. It has a fence, but remember, lions are cats, so they can be able to climb up. So sometimes they do escape from the reserve.
Okay.
But it's
And-
not so often. It's not too common. It happens like maybe once in 5 years or something like that.
Yeah. But how big is this preserve?
It is wait, let me
Probably the size of North Carolina. Well, North Carolina, doesn't sound cool. So it's the size of Belgium, Netherlands, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Slovenia, Slovakia, and a couple of other European countries taken together.
actually I can see I can see I hope Google is not lying to us. It's saying it's 117 square kilometers.
117.
And it's not that huge, actually. So, okay.
It is not huge, but it's a national park in the middle of the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, remember, Annette, that last year when we had X Culture Global, we went to the largest national park in the world, which is Banff National Park. And literally it was 2 hours outside of Calgary. And it took us, what, Voss, another hour or so once we were in the park to get to where
Wow.
anything was, you know.
That one goes on, so it kind of then morphs into Jasper National Park. So it goes almost like to the polar circle. So that one is literally probably at least 1,000 kilometers long, maybe even more. So that one you can pack several European countries in and still have some room. And then going west again, it changes into I don't remember the names of all of those parks, but it's probably 4 or 5 of them. So you have the Glacier National Park, the Jasper. So it's like several parks owned by or managed by different provinces in Canada. So essentially everything that is north of Calgary becomes that national park, and it's a huge territory.
Right, right. And
But it wasn't an easy. I read a book recently called The National Parks, and it's the history of the national parks of the United States and Canada. And so first of all, they're not that old, meaning that they have been designated the protected status not that long ago. So Teddy Roosevelt was basically the guy who started the process and signed into the law, designations in his last days in the office. And then the Rockefellers, so one of the Rockefellers spent millions and millions of dollars buying all that land sort of secretly so that the farmers don't rebel against him. But in any case, once the designations were in place, it was literally war. The miners, the loggers, the farmers, for some reason they felt that it's not the government's right to take that land away from them, from basically extracting the natural resources, using it for agriculture. And literally they had to send National Guards on many occasions to defend that territory. And now it's accepted, and now it's the pride of the country. And now everybody cannot imagine that land can be given to, for example, loggers. But
Mhm.
some 100 years ago, even less, that was, a very contentious issue. So.
Right, right. Which brings me back to Kenya and to Nairobi. I wonder how difficult it was for Kenya to be able to create this national park or this, well, national preserve in Nairobi, given the opportunity that they could have utilized that land for growth, and then how are they able to finance that? Because again, going back to the cost of probably maintaining that property is significant, right? So now guys, we're talking business. So Hope.
It is a very important question that Dr. B is raising, because we are talking about potentially millions and millions of dollars that could be used to either extract the natural resources or to build something there,
Mhm.
versus, just reserving that land for nothing. And
Yeah.
so it is
Yeah, that
always
is
a
very,
big struggle.
I totally agree with both of you, Dr. B and Dr. Voss. But one thing you have to remember is that in the years before I think the capital city was formed, the whole of Nairobi was a forest. Actually, we even have a forest in Nairobi. So as they were, I think, making the city or building the city, they preserved special portion just for the Nairobi National Park. Like we all know, it's the only national park in the city, in a capital city of any countries.
Right.
So that is like something unique. It's like a legacy that they need to keep and just have, because like if you come for say a conference in Nairobi, let's say at the Kenyatta International Conference, you can be able to, after lunch, after your conference or before your conference, you can be able to drive to the national park, you see wildlife, and then you'll be able to come back to your meeting in time. Not everyone gets that opportunity. So it, I think really the cost of maintaining and retaining that national park is not really a big issue, because it's like a country, it's like a national heritage. So
Right.
it is mostly by and large for, what is it called? Yeah,
By
okay.
by government.
English has disappeared.
Yeah. Well,
And-
okay,
and-
so let's go back to the question, right? Because in terms of economics, that would be opportunity cost. Replace or taking that land and preserving it for the good of the country is an opportunity cost for the industrialization of Nairobi, which as a capital city, that's a huge investment of the future, which I'm all about preserving, right? But
Yeah.
so we all need to understand that I think a part of making sure that you do preserve the national heritage of a country, which we know Kenya is known for safari. Is it a part, and you already said it's the legacy, but is it a part of the, you have 48 million people. Is it a part of the culture of the majority of the population to want to protect the national treasure of Kenya, which is the safari?
Yes, I would say yes, because
Are there people who are opposed to it?
no, none I know of.
Yeah. Hope,
Yeah.
what do the young people feel? How did the young people feel about that?
Actually, think it's great because it's a national park at a capital city around people. It's okay when we are protected, and I don't see it as a big deal.
No. So, but does your age group, is it something that you think your age group will continue to protect and to continue to appreciate as a legacy of your country?
Yes.
Yeah. How so?
Pardon?
How so? Like, how do you guys perceive the value of the national park in the city? Your generation, the kids.
By visiting the national park and learning its history.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You see,
but
especially the children who stay in, like in the city, they don't get to see animals. You can actually ask someone how a zebra looks like, and they've only seen it on the national on television, like on the National Geographic. So, with the national park being in the city, you can just have a weekend, like say an afternoon, and you go to the national park and you show the kids. Like actually, we're planning on taking our 5-year-old to go and see lions and zebras and those
Yeah.
animals. Like she
We
can
want
get to
we
touch
want
them.
pictures of that. Pictures, please. Pictures.
but all in all, guys, I applaud you. I mean, this is such a great night and achievement, because I can only imagine how much land costs in Nairobi and how much sort of value some businessmen could see in that land if they could use it to build skyscrapers, for example. So it is
Yeah.
wonderful that at least some people do it right. New York, for example, has the Central Park. Again, I've seen estimates that it would be like who knows how many $billion, because in New York, like 1 square foot is like $5,000 land. And so thank God that nobody thought that it would be a good idea to turn the Central Park into yet another block of skyscrapers. So same thing here, just you do it on a much larger scale, and that's wonderful. I wish all countries did it.
Yeah. So Hope, can you go down to where you had the pictures of the tourists in the city or in the park? Down, 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 down. Okay, so like when you get into these jeepneys, okay, how far, how long does it take them to get around the whole park? How long is this tour?
It depends.
Well,
Okay, sorry.
it depends with what you want. It depends with whether it's morning or evening. Like morning, I think it will take around 2 hours. Evening, it might take around 1 hour because it's evening.
Yeah. How come, why the difference?
The time depends because say in the morning if you go very early in the morning, you get to see the cats, because the cats are normally very shy, so they tend to hide away from people. So if you go at any point of time, you can just get to see maybe the zebras or the elephants or the animals that are not shy. But mostly people want to see lions, and they want to get to maybe get really close to them and all that. So you can only get to see that in the very early in the morning and maybe very late in the evening when they do not sense any danger. But mostly they hide in trees, and sometimes they just hide in bushes around, so you're not able to see them.
So are the animals like segregated so that they don't kill each other?
Not really. I think they're used to living with each other.
Yeah, I guess the whole point of the wild reserve is that they'll let's not get into the details, but something's telling me that it's not always Disney-like.
And there are also tour guides. Actually, there is an association or an organization called Kenya Wildlife Services. It takes care of all the wildlife. Like actually, if you see a snake in your home, you're not I don't know how true this is. I don't know how I can see a snake and I don't call someone to kill it. But ideally, you're not supposed to kill it. You're supposed to call Kenya Wildlife Services to come pick it and take it to wherever it is that they keep them.
Okay.
So when you see an animal, you're not supposed to kill it. Actually, when you kill it, you have a case against the state.
Yeah. Well, in the state of Florida, so we have alligators, okay? And our alligators can be like 10 feet, 15 feet sometime.
Yeah.
And they end up in our backyards, Annette. Like literally, like especially with the rains that we've been having, just in my city, there was an alligator that was 10 feet long that ended up in somebody's backyard. And it was in the news. Like, it might even be my neighborhood. I don't put it past my neighborhood. And we actually, when we call somebody, they have to kill it. Because if they take that alligator and put it back in the wild, it finds its way back to where you are. If they like that place, they have a really good navigating system where they go back to where you are. And plus, alligators are not protected in the state of Florida. Actually, we have a lot of alligators. But the fact that they are very, well, I guess it's the same in Kenya, right? They're predatory. The reason why they're wandering is because they're looking for small animals, which could be a dog or a small child, right? They're looking
Yes.
for food. So is that a thing in Kenya or in the national park?
In the national parks, they're fed. They're fed with whatever it is that they ate. I think they have different menus. So they're fed with whatever it is that is on their menu, that they ate. Like the cats are fed with meat, with fresh meat. I don't know where they get that from. I think they killed the
So
weaker
look at it,
animal.
Annette, so you're saying that they're not left there to sort of to hunt as they would in the wild, like, you know, they actually are being fed? Like the lions just don't go and hunt some zebras and zebras don't go.
They're not supposed to eat each other, Dr. Vaz.
Because I thought it was like a real, you know, wild preserve and, you know, kind of the cycle of life, so to speak, you know, the food chain.
So I think that one happens. Okay, I've been to the Nairobi National Park, but I think I would say I've been to the orphanage. There's there's a section of the park called the orphanage, where the animals that have lost, I think, their parents or something like that, are collected and then they're taken care of by humans and they're given to bigger animals in the park.
So it's operated more like a gigantic zoo as opposed to completely
Yeah.
wild preserve,
Yeah.
right?
Now that is the orphanage. So I've seen them being given food. I think in the national park, in the wild, they're left to hunt. Well, this is confusing, but I'm not really sure. I don't know whether they eat each other. I don't know, but they're supposed to eat
Okay,
each
so
other.
Annette, that's your homework next weekend. You have to answer
Okay.
that question for us.
Wait, let me ask my husband. How
It
are
would-
animals fed?
It would be very sad to see that, you know, the lions are eating the zebras and the wildebeest.
But Dr. B, you might want to mention, since you were talking about alligators in Florida, you also have this infestation essentially of pythons, right?
Oh,
I have the
I
answer.
know.
I have the answer right now.
Okay,
Like 10
okay.
meters long.
So
Okay,
Annette, let's let Annette answer, and then I will tell you guys a python story. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the ones in the orphanage are fed. They get the weaker animals, they get meat and feed them. But the ones in the park, in the larger park, they do hunt for each other and they feed on each other. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you could witness a lion taking down a zebra and having lunch.
Yes.
Okay.
Currently.
Yeah, that's not a good part of the tourist experience.
No, it's not. I was
So,
hoping they actually don't eat each other, but yeah, that is part of that is
yeah.
part of their life.
Unfortunately, life, what is it called? The circle of life is
circle of
in
life,
play,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Circle of life is in play. So let's talk about Dr. Vasa's question on the super snakes, which I don't know if you guys have been watching National Geographic around the world, but there's a show that actually talks about the wild, right? So I don't know if anybody knows this, but I actually live on the edge of the Everglades. And the Everglades is one of the largest swamp parks. And it is a national park as well, but we only have small parts of it being visited by the population, because honestly, it's supposed to be untouched, you know, and the people that live there are actually the Seminoles. The Seminoles are the Native Americans in South Florida, and they're the ones who own the Hard Rock brand. And of course, you guys know the Guitar Hotel is one of their iconic theme parks, I would say. It's a hotel, but it's actually a theme park. But the only, again, the
looks
only
like a guitar, like a gigantic guitar, if you haven't seen it.
yeah. And we were there in 2017.
Yep.
So I'm talking about Global X Culture was there in 2017. But going back to the Everglades National Park, or what we have here in South Florida called Everglades, right? It's where the Seminoles hid away in the time where Fort Lauderdale, which is now my city, was created, where the General Eisenhower had sent a lot of soldiers to basically chase the Seminole tribe up to go to what they call reservations. And they were sending everybody to the Dakotas, to Oklahoma. And, you know, if you guys know about American history or the original Native American Indians, it's the Trail of Tears, right? Where all of these tribes had to follow this trail and to go to the Midwest towards the areas where it was designated for them to have as reservations. So today, much of the Everglades is actually reservations. So if we were to go to Miccosukee is one, and then there's another area called Billy Swamp Safari, and it's in Immokalee. If you were to pass the gates going into Immokalee, you would see, it'll say, welcome to Indian Nation. You are now leaving the United States and entering the Indian reservation territory. And you have to know that that area is governed by Native American rules, and you are not protected by American rules. And it's literally like going from one street to the next street, and then all of a sudden you're in the reservation. So the reservation looks like the picture that you're showing now, Hope, right? It's very dry in parts and then watery in some parts. And they will have alligators, like just walking around, wild boars just walking around. And it literally is kind of a life of living in the forest, in a swampy forest. Okay, so back to the super snakes. It is not historically a place where you will find like the anacondas or the what is the other one that you were talking about?
Pythons.
Pythons, yes.
My wife
yes.
actually just showed me in the news apparently yesterday, one of the snakes caught a dog, and then the guy was trying to fight that snake. But we are talking about like a snake 10 meters long, like really, really long, not 10 feet, 10 meters. So scary.
Yes, yes. And they swallow these animals whole, you know? So, I mean, in order for you, you know, of course they suffocate them first and then they swallow them. So the pythons, apparently it was somebody's animal, and then it got too big for them and they set them free in the wilderness, in the Everglades. Now, you know, that the Everglades have wild pigs, have alligators. They even have they're not pumas, they're not cheetahs, but we also have a cat.
Like big snakes.
I can't remember what it's called. What is it called, Bas?
I don't know, but you have probably there like some
Is it a
variety of
leopard?
cats, maybe.
Not a leopard. It's not a lynx. It'll come to me. But anyway, so we also have those cats. And Emily raised her hand, so I don't know, maybe Emily knows. I don't know how. Okay, let me see how I get Emily's. Annette, you take care of Emily.
Okay, let me take care of Emily.
Yeah, so, but the idea is that, you know, you have these super snakes now released into the Everglades, but that it's not just
Emily is
them.
allowed to talk now.
Yeah.
Hey, they're panthers, actually.
Panthers, there you go. Oh my God, the Panthers.
It's been my mascot since middle school all the way through college. That was my mascot.
Emily?
Cougar just black, right? So I guess
No, they're like a brown gray color. We call it grage.
maybe they come in
They're
different
grage color, but they're beautiful. Now, the idea again is to let the Everglades lay fallow. But however, these super snakes are now like basically attacking all of these native animals. And now there's a bounty for these animals. So for example, one was actually in my daughter's neighborhood, which is 15 minutes from here. One was actually found inside the engine of a car. So she lives on the edge of the Everglades. It left the Everglades, maybe it was cold, and it had gone into the engine of the car. The car wouldn't start. They opened up the engine and it was covered with snake.
Oh my God.
So, and it's becoming really invasive. So now they have a hunting season for these snakes. And of course, you guys know shoes made out of python can cost about $1,000 a pair. So what people are doing are they're giving them bounties to go and hunt these super snakes, and then and then they turn around and sell it, the leather and the meat, to the people. You know, alligator is the same way, by the way. The large alligators that are killed, that find their way outside of the Sawgrass National Park, they get killed, and then they also get eaten. And I've actually tried it when I went up to Immokalee. It tastes a lot. Honestly, it tastes a lot like a,
Like
I
fish?
would say like a tilapia crossed with
Like
chicken breast.
very hard fish.
Yeah, like a tilapia crossed with chicken breast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Hope, thank you so much. Raphael, if you could please start our next meeting, that would be great. I have to go to another meeting, but Annette, can I leave you to finish everything up?
Yes, that is all right. I'll join you guys in a minute.
Thank you.
Okay.
I wanted to brag too about the animals we have in North Carolina, but I think after you told all the stories about lions and elephants and pythons and crocodiles, I guess, you know, I will not
It's
be
becoming a little
impressed.
bit difficult.
Yeah, we have squirrels and we have rabbits and we have the deer, little like Bambis. So they
I
always
tasted a rabbit. I tasted a rabbit 2 weeks ago. It is awesome.
Yeah, but I have probably like 200 squirrels around my house in the trees. I don't know how many live there, but anytime you look, you see several of them at any time. And
Wow,
rabbits,
that's amazing.
and then we have deer, but deer like not the huge elks, but deer that are like, I don't know,
The
the size of
beautiful fluffy
a
ones.
little bit bigger than a goat. So we have those that
Oh.
come all the time and eat my cucumbers. So nothing dangerous, all cute stuff.
Yeah, that's also amazing.
Yeah, raccoons and opossums, but again, those are just little curious, they're like the size of a cat and just look nice and cute.
But they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're beautiful and they are, curious and always try, to look at you. We have a lot of turtles too, but like lake turtles, but they're very, again, harmless. So they always just crawl around, lay eggs, and just basically sit on the logs in the sun all day long. So nothing dangerous, likely. Some little snakes, but nothing like what you would see in, for example, Florida.
Oh, interesting. Thank you, Dr. Voss, for that. Yeah, so I think we need to hop into another meeting. Thank you very, very much for this. Hope, thank you very, very much for this tour. It was awesome. I'm hoping,
Very
Dr. Voss,
informative.
we can touch base and organize a symposium to Kenya. I think
Yeah.
it will be really
Very
amazing.
informative.
Yeah.
I see we have quite a few people in the audience. I'm not sure if you guys maybe want to share any of the quickly stories. Just, I don't know what countries you are from and what animals wander into your backyard or city. It probably varies. I know that Australia is probably the creepiest place because anything that moves in Australia can kill you. Like they have all those spiders and snakes and whatever else. So that's a dangerous place. I guess everywhere else is okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
Annette, thank you so much for organizing this meeting and Hope. I was planning to just join for the first few minutes and then go do my stuff, but actually I found it so interesting that I just stuck around. Good job. Annette,
Welcome.
thank you for organizing it.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Voss. So guys, I will end this meeting.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.